Welcome to 3D Amazon FBA. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about something different. It's not Amazon related. I'm going to talk about what's happening on the stock market. It's like the biggest news happening right now, and it's a little crazy. Before I get into that, I'm going to ask you guys if you can like and subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. You know, I give out all kinds of Amazon tips primarily, but today I'm giving out different kind of information. So anyways, back to the topic at hand. So I'm sure some of you have seen like GameStop stock skyrocketed. BlackBerry went through it. Even Blockbuster stock went through it. I mean, at a much smaller ratio, but Blockbuster went through it. AMC theaters went through it. So what's happening is, because I've like trying to learn the stock market the last couple of weeks, and this actually came at an opportune time for me, because I've only dabbled in stocks like 10 years ago and I haven't touched it since. So what happens is, you know, like the billionaires, they profit off of companies that are going bankrupt. AMC theaters, you know, they can't pay their bills because they've been closed for almost a year. You know, GameStop, they just have the worst business practices, like pretty much any company out there, outside of maybe Electronic Arts, which is another gaming company. But you know, they've been on the verge of going bankrupt for like a year. I don't really know much about like BlackBerry, Blockbuster. You know, they've been out of business for years. You could buy some Blockbuster puzzles, and they have one store open in Oregon still. You know, so you know, they're a penny stock. So what happens is these companies aren't in good financial shape, and the billionaires, what they do is they borrow stocks. So like I think they're called hedge funds. They have like there's companies that'll be like, okay, the stock's worth $10 today, and then they borrow that stock from whomever, and they expect the price to drop, because like GameStop, the stock isn't really worth that much, shouldn't be worth that much, because they're a failing company. So then they purchase the stock back and give it to their hedge funds when the price drops. You know, and I believe it's a quick turnaround. I don't really know what exactly the turnaround is. So they make money betting on companies to fail by borrowing a stock at $10. They want to buy it at $8, so then they can pay back their broker. Is basically what it is, except, you know, they're doing it thousands of times per stock. So what happened is people on Reddit apparently banded together, and on Wall Street there's a movement happening the past month. I'd say this started about a month ago, where they're trying to take money from the rich, and, you know, obviously they're keeping it for themselves. These people, I don't know how many people there are no specifics on this that I've seen. So I just call them the middle class, because I assume this is mainly middle class, maybe upper middle class people, because they are buying these stocks at huge volume. So what they did is they drove up the price by buying it, you know, because if you buy something, you know, the supply and demand is thrown off, and the less supply, the more demand, and price just goes up. So they drove up GameStop stock. I think it was at like $17 a couple weeks ago, and it actually peaked at around $480. And I checked like early this morning, it was down to like $180, I think it was. So they just totally wiped out these billionaires. Like there was like one company that was worth $1.5 billion, and they're bankrupt now. I read an article this morning saying through all of the variety of stocks, you know, BlackBerry, GameStop, you know, there's been more than I'm aware of, I'm sure. But the losses totaled $70 billion for these billionaire hedge fund people that bank on companies to fail by doing the borrowing of a stock and then buying it back at a lower price. And it's just really fascinating where this is all going, because it seems like this is just a big movement. It's barely starting. I'm actually very intrigued to see where all of this goes as far as long term. And then on a side note to all of this that's happening is there's an app called Robinhood. and it's kind of for beginning traders, I guess. And you buy and you sell your stocks there. And with all the stuff happening with AMC and GameStop specifically, Robinhood just said, nope, you guys cannot purchase any more of this stock. You guys can sell it, but they removed the ability to buy that stock from their app. And, of course, that upset people because people wanted to buy it because the price was going up and all the things that goes along with the stock market. So now there is a class action lawsuit against Robinhood because people feel Robinhood, basically denied them the opportunity to make money on a free and open market. And at the same time, like in politics today, it's very hectic to say the least, and nobody gets along. It's two sides against each other, and even both sides have come together saying Robinhood was in the wrong. Like, what's her name, AOC up in New York and Ted Cruz, they actually hate each other, and they've actually agreed that what Robinhood did was wrong, and they're talking about creating a legislature to keep this from ever happening again as far as what Robinhood did. And this is all my understanding of what's happening. And I just took my kids to the park for the last couple hours. I've been busy. I haven't seen what happened today, but all of this more or less happened over the last 4 days. Some of it started like small time, but it like hit big this week. It's everywhere on the news. And I find it really fascinating to see where this goes. I've seen people in my other Amazon Facebook groups where people are talking about getting into the stock market and looking into all this stuff. And me personally, I would stay far away from this unless you're in the know, because everything is just so volatile right now. It's really crazy watching GameStop stock, go up to $480 when in August it was worth $4. And I sure would hate to end up being on that losing side. Like, I see a stock start taking off, and then I buy it at, like, say, mid-peak, and then like 6 hours later it dropped. Because GameStop, it went up like $100 yesterday, and then it tanked like 200 something, like that. And I would hate to be on the losing side of that. So that's just my opinion on the topic. You can make some money. Like, I did the math. If I bought GameStop stock in August, and if I sold it at the peak, and again, these are all ifs, I would have made almost $900,000. If I spent $10,000 on it, that would have been worth almost $900,000. I think it was like $870,000. And who doesn't want $870,000 for holding on to a stock for a few months? But it's really risky right now to be in the stock market. I think it's fascinating that people are going after the uber rich, the stock trading uber rich. And that's all I really got for this video. I hope you guys didn't mind me doing something different. This just is really intriguing to me, and I haven't really been out doing my Amazon business. My baby mama, my kid's mom, she got diagnosed with the Rona. She tested positive for the Rona. I think Monday she got her positive test. So I've self-quarantined for the last 5 days, and I'm staying home till Tuesday. I took the kids to the park, but we stayed away from everybody because vitamin C is great. I don't think we've got it. None of us have shown any symptoms of being sick. So I think we're all healthy here, but we're being cautious. So I just made a different video. So I hope you guys didn't mind. If you guys can like and subscribe to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. If you guys want to see more of videos like this one about the stock market insanity that's happening right now, let me know in the comments. If I don't get anybody wanting to see this video anymore, I won't make any more. I just thought I'd do something different. So thanks for watching.